Have you ever wondered how people knew what day it was thousands of years ago? Long before smartphones, calendars, or even writing? How did they know when to plant their crops, when to expect the changing seasons, or when to gather for a festival? It's a fascinating question. And the answer is written in the sky, the earth, and the very cycles of life itself. Today, we're journeying back in time to uncover the ingenious ways our ancestors tracked the passage of days, moons, and years. Before clocks ticked and calendars were hung on walls, humanity's first clock was the grandest one of all. The cosmos. The most obvious and reliable marker was the daily cycle of the sun. Its rising in the east and setting in the west was the first fundamental unit of time, the day. This rhythm of light and darkness dictated everything. When to hunt, when to weeder, and when to rest in the safety of a cave or shelter. It was the drumbeat of prehistoric life, a consistent pattern that governed survival. But a single day wasn't enough to plan for the future. Early humans were keen observers, and they quickly noticed another celestial rhythm. The moon. They watched it wax from a sliver to a full, glowing orb, and then wane back to nothing before reappearing. This cycle, lasting roughly 29.5 days, became the first month or month. Imagine a hunter carving a notch into a piece of bone or a stick every time a new moon appeared. In fact, archaeologists have found exactly that. Items like the Ishango bone, discovered in the Congo and dating back over 20,000 years, are covered in carved notches. While their exact purpose is debated, many scientists believe these were some of the earliest lunar calendars, a physical record of the passing moons. These weren't just for counting. They could help predict things like animal migrations, or the timing of tidal patterns, which was crucial for coastal communities. So they had days and they had moons. But what about the year? This was the big one. Understanding the annual cycle was the key to unlocking agriculture and building settled societies. How did they figure it out? Again, by looking up, our ancestors noticed that the sun's path across the sky wasn't fixed throughout the year. In the summer it rose higher and stayed up longer, bringing warmth. In the winter its arc was lower and shorter, bringing cold. They also identified 4 key moments in this solar journey. The solstices, the longest and shortest days of the year, marked the peak of summer and the depth of winter. And the equinoxes, when day and night are of equal length, signaled the arrival of spring and autumn. These weren't just abstract concepts. They were tied to tangible, seasonal changes. The spring equinox meant the snow would soon melt, new plants would sprout, and hibernating animals would re-emerge. The autumn equinox was assigned to harvest the last of the crops and prepare for the coming winter. To track these celestial events with precision, early cultures built incredible structures that are, in essence, giant, ancient clocks. The most famous is Stonehenge in England. The arrangement of its massive stones aligns perfectly with the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice. Standing within that stone circle on those specific days, you would see the sun appear or disappear at a precise point on the horizon. It was a monumental calendar, a place for ceremony, and a testament to their sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. And Stonehenge isn't alone. From the Newgrange Passage tomb in Ireland, which is illuminated by the winter solstice sunrise, to the sun dagger petroglyph at Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, cultures all over the world were building observatories to mark the passage of the year. Beyond the sun and moon, the stars also served as a guide. Ancient people noticed that different constellations were visible at different times of the year. The appearance of a particular star pattern on the eastern horizon just before sunrise could signal the start of a season. For example, the ancient Egyptians knew that the annual, life-giving flood of the Nile was imminent when they saw the star Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, rise just before the sun. This event, known as the Heliacal Rising of Sirius, marked the beginning of their new year and the start of their agricultural season. It was so reliable that their entire calendar was built around it. It wasn't just the sky either. The earth itself provided countless clues. The budding of certain flowers, the shedding of leaves from trees, the arrival and departure of migratory birds, all of these were natural indicators of the changing seasons. An experienced elder in a tribe would know that when a particular type of berry ripened, it was time to move to the summer hunting grounds. Or when the geese began to fly south, it was time to prepare for the cold. This was a form of phenology, the study of cyclic, natural phenomena, and it was practiced intuitively by our ancestors for millennia. They lived in such close connection with their environment that they could read its signs like a book. This intricate awareness of time wasn't just practical. It was deeply woven into their culture and spirituality. The cycles of the sun, moon, and seasons were seen as a sacred, cosmic dance. The solstices and equinoxes weren't just astronomical events. They were powerful moments for ritual, celebration, and reflection. They marked points of transition and renewal, connecting the human community to the larger rhythms of the universe. Building something like Stonehenge wasn't just an engineering feat. It was a profound act of faith and a way to harmonize their lives with the heavens. So, from a simple sunrise to the complex alignment of megalithic stones, our ancestors developed an incredibly rich and detailed understanding of time long before the first clock was ever made. They used the world around them, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the patterns of nature to create a framework for their lives. This ancient knowledge laid the groundwork for all the calendars, clocks, and timekeeping devices we rely on today. The next time you check the date on your phone, take a moment to remember these early pioneers of time. They were the original astronomers, scientists, and timekeepers who looked up at the sky in wonder and found order in the cosmos. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next video.